has a quote above it that says, "All your plays suck, man," with a rolling video of Jimmy Garoppolo, and it's reading his lips. All your plays suck, man. Gosh, in the last 2 minutes, we've been able to come up with all kinds of alternatives, possibly. You're a Ducks fan?
Yeah.
We do have Sharks tickets coming up in an hour. But if you're a Ducks fan, maybe you don't want them. So those of you who are Ducks fans, stay away. But for the rest of you, it's almost hockey season. More on this in a second. And we've got Sharks tickets. You thought maybe he was talking to the defense and said, "You're in luck, man."
Exactly. I'm about to throw this to you guys. I haven't given you one yet in this game. Hey, linebacker, you're in luck, man.
I'm not a good runner. You're in luck, man. You're going to get to me in the pocket, and I'm going to be right here, just waiting for you. You're in luck, man.
I can't believe that this is even a thing, but when you look at the video and you look at the lip reading, and this is one reason why I've really enjoyed the mask era here in the pandemic, post-pandemic era.
Really?
Well, I'm refereeing high school volleyball now.
Okay.
And, you're refereeing volleyball, and maybe a player will do something that maybe doesn't agree with the call that you made. I got a mask on, so I can just mouth underneath my mask, "Come on, number 11. Yes, we both saw it. You hit the net. You netted. I saw you net. Don't stare at me."
That's a long sentence to just mouth to yourself under a mask. I understand that.
You got, volleyball players retrieving the ball. We're getting set for the next point. And so there's a certain amount of self-dialogue. You know me, Mark. I'm a little bit of a weird character. I talk to myself a lot.
Well, you're a radio host.
But when you have the mask on, and like on Bart, it's like, "Move over, you jackhole." And, you can mouth these things under the mask. And so Jimmy Garoppolo, maybe he should think about a KN95.
I mean, he did have a mask on. It's just unfortunately it was a face mask. It's got holes in it, and we can see. But here's the real issue. And I know that we don't know exactly what he was saying, and we may not know the context, but we also kind of do. He's on the field in Denver, and he's walking off the field. I think we can probably put two and two together and think that was maybe after a third down that didn't work, or maybe it was after he walked out of the back of the end zone and felt like, "Why you're calling a screen pass at the one? These plays suck, man." Like, that's absolutely possible. But the bigger issue is not that a quarterback was frustrated walking off the field in a football game. We see that all of the time. Tom Brady is screaming at people on his team and on the sideline pretty much every single Sunday. We're not worried about that. But combine it with two things. A, they're 1-2. But more importantly, I think you nailed it in the other room, bud. This is a new Jimmy. This is the Jimmy that's not the starter. This is the Jimmy that does not have the backing of his coach. This is the Jimmy that was forced into a press conference where he said, "See ya." This is the Jimmy that's only making $6 million, not $26 million. This is the Jimmy that has been fired, as Steve Young said. And therefore, this is a Jimmy that after a game and a half has had 2 press conferences. In one of them, he said, "Yeah, that was kind of like 2017 when I got to throw the ball around all over the place, but we don't get to do that around here. We haven't done that the last 5 years."
In a win, it's like riding a bike.
And then in the next press conference after the loss, "Hey, Jimmy, why'd you walk out of the back of the end zone?" "Well, it was a tough situation, and,
these plays suck,
and
man.
I haven't been allowed to be with my teammates for the last 6 months, and so everything is totally out of sync." We've never heard stuff like this from Jimmy. And if you think it's going to get better as the season goes on, especially if they're losing, that's not how this works. This is the soap opera I didn't want. This is why I said the day after they brought him back, be careful. That sounds like a bad idea to me.
You better be careful. And that was the day my daughter was born, and I got a text from Morning Roast producer Sam Lubman. "Congratulations. Sorry the birth of your daughter got upstaged by the Jimmy News." And I said, "Jimmy News? What?" And then I started to chase it after the fact. But this is exactly why I wanted him brought back, because I'm here for the soap opera. I'm here for all of it, because Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch and all the rest of them and the Players Council and the meeting they had, they didn't have to bring Jimmy Garoppolo back. They could have still said, sorry, Jimmy, we don't want you. But they brought him back, and they didn't think that after 3 games it would have devolved into where he's mouthing, your plays suck, man, on the field. And I think that happened after he threw the interception that ultimately ended the game.
Maybe. There's it's a very up-close video, so there's no way to know exactly when this was. But then after
you see the video, you see a cut to Deebo Samuel lying prone on the ground, and it appears that was after the interception. Hard to know exactly when that happened, but what we do know from any amateur lip reader is that he basically says, your plays suck, man, and I don't think he's talking to his teammates like, the way you're playing sucks. He's talking about the play calling.
There's only one person in the 49ers organization who, quote unquote, has plays. There's only one person who's got plays, and we know exactly who that is. So here we are, and I hear what you're saying. Gosh, the 95.7 The Game host in me loves that Jimmy Garoppolo's back. The 49er fan in me is now officially split in this way. I'll describe it because I don't want anyone to be like, wait a minute, you said last week you were relieved that he was there when Trey Lance went down. Yeah, if you want to root for the 49ers to win this year because of what's happened, because Trey broke his ankle, I do think there is still a better chance for a successful season with Jimmy there than there would be with Brock Purdy. Some may disagree with that. I get that, but I believe that right now. However, if you go back to the day they re-signed Jimmy or restructured the deal, as we should more accurately say it, I said, this is not something I would have done. This is not a good idea because there are so many dramatic negative turns that can now unfold, and a bunch of them have. Even the most pessimistic person would not have thought this would have unfolded within the first 3 weeks. But here we are. And so the 49er fan in me, while I still think there's openness for a good season for Jimmy, the developments I'm looking at, this is not good. Because what do we already have? We have a bunch of stuff we've never had into the Kyle Shanahan era. Whispers in the locker room.
Dissension at quarterback.
Discord, right? A quarterback not wanting to just fall in line and do whatever Kyle Shanahan tells him to do. He's bucking. He is bucking.
Careful.
He looks like a teenager.
He's bucking mad.
Right?
And he should be.
He's like, Kyle, what the buck are you calling right now?
That's a 3. I
Thank
like
you.
it.
So,
you don't normally work edgy. I appreciate you.
Well, look.
I'm rubbing off on you a little bit.
Desperate times, they're 1 and 2.
And to your point, though, if they win, like you've already declared, you've locked it up on a Tuesday lock.
Yeah, they're going to win Monday night.
Will. So if they win Monday,
that's just the way. It's not me. That's not me breaking down football. That's me just looking the way this story goes.
But the story didn't go that way on Sunday when the line swung to the Niners and they still lost.
No, totally.
It doesn't always go that way. And quietly, I don't want to tip my hand, but I like the Rams, especially if come pick time on Thursday, I'm getting 2 and a hook. Good Lord, give me the Rams with the points.
You might be getting 3 and a hook the way it's going right now.
It's not going higher than 2.5. I don't believe, but we'll see. I have a feeling that the money's going to swing back LA's way.
We'll see.
Not only in light of what we are now seeing from Jimmy Garoppolo and those lovely, lovely, luscious lips and his mouthing of your plays suck, man, but to your point, you invited this drama when you brought him back as your backup quarterback. Ideally, you brought him back as an insurance policy. You wouldn't need the insurance policy. Trey Lance would start all 17.
You knew
You'd
it
have
wasn't
the most
happening,
handsome
though.
back, but you didn't think it would happen in week 2.
No, of course not.
Happen in week 2.
No, and I never would have thought, because I will always bet against any player having a season-ending injury, where a bone is pointing the wrong way. Like, can we all agree that is usually not what happens? There are a lot of injuries in football. They're usually not that dramatic. But we also sat here, and again, this is what I mean by sometimes just feeling the soap opera. Like if I had said to you, because Larry and I had this conversation, like if I had said to you, as soon as the season started, over/under on Jimmy starts this year, 1.5, what would you have said?
I would have said over.
We all did. Because it was like, of course he's going to start some games. Whether it be because of injury, there were rumors right away of, well, they're going to just make the switch if they're 1-3 or whatever. You just felt like Jimmy, I didn't think he'd play this many games. Who knows how many he's going to play. But, I mean, right now he's slated to play 15 more. 14 more? 14 more.
14 more.
14 more.
Yeah. I still put the over-under on Brock Purdy starts. I had it at a half a start. That line's moved to a start and a half.
Oh, has it?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Especially if this season continues to devolve the way that it might devolve. If you wind up and let's say you're 4-8, which would be a nightmare scenario. But if it is 4-8,
right.
And the way things are going right now, you lost 2 games right now that you should have won. You should be 3-0 right now. You should not have lost to Chicago.
Totally agree.
You should not have lost to Denver. If you're 3-0, let's say Trey Lance still gets hurt, but you're 3-0. Trey Lance and Kyle Shanahan, you find a way to beat Chicago in a monsoon. You should have. And you find a way to gut it out over Denver, and you should have. Even at 3-0 without Trey Lance, you're feeling good still about Jimmy G.
Totally.
At 1-2, though, this feels closer to being not on the brink of a disaster, but you're seeing cracks in the dam, fissures in the support system to where if you do get to 4-9, it's going to be Brock Purdy time.
Well, right. If the season's gone, then it's Brock Purdy time. I just don't think they're going to do that unless the season truly is gone. And I just have a hard time believing in the NFC that the season will ever be gone because there just aren't going to be 7 teams that run away and hide.
But at 4-9,
in the NFC.
you'd be dead in the water at 4-9.
Yeah, at 4-9, I would
over
think.
under 1.5 Brock Purdy starts.
I'll take the under.
Over under a half a Brock Purdy start.
I'll take the under.
Okay.
I'll take the under.
Okay.
Yeah, ask me again on Tuesday. 888-957-9570. And we are reacting to this video, and I do want to be mindful that some of you may not be in a situation where you've seen the video yet. There are a number of places where you can go find it. It is certainly trending all over Twitter. I have retweeted it, Mark_T_Willard. Have you retweeted it at Dan Dibley?
No, but I will. One B, too, for all of you double Bs out there. Just this one B. It's not Dibbly.
No, I know, but you call yourself Dibberclaws, and that's spelled with 2 Bs, and so people get confused.
But do you see the difference? It's not confusing. I'm not Diberclaws.
I don't find it confusing at all.
Right.
Right, but I can see how others would because you call yourself like 5 different names. You are Dan, you're Dibs, you're Dibberclaws, you're Nostradiblis, and some of them have 1 Bs and
Sam
some
Sherpa,
of them have 2.
Don't forget Sam Sherpa.
Right, I mean, some of them have no Bs. So, anyway, 888-957-9570. The Comcast business text line is wide open. Or, check this out. You could watch us on Twitch or YouTube. I don't suggest this, but you could turn the sound down and read our lips.
Oh.
And you can decide what we're saying. You can almost make up your own show. Did you hear what Dibs said? He said bleep Jimmy and Trey and fire Kyle, even though maybe you didn't say that.
I just mouthed, your teases suck, man. Which
That wasn't a tease. We got all kinds
your
of time right now.
promos suck, man.
So